Hi, securely evolving tribe. Welcome to another CyberGist session. And thank you so much for joining us. And today we are talking about something really interesting behind the screen and behind the scene. And we have two amazing moms here with us. And they're going to be sharing just basic tips, insights that has helped them balance out their career in cybersecurity and family. If you're yet to subscribe to this channel, this is just one out of the many goodies that we do here on Securely Evolving. Right, so we'll jump straight into it. So I have two amazing moms, phenomenal, doing great, balancing, building their careers and family as well. I have Neka. So Neka is a mom of three. She's a super engineer. And I'm so glad to have her here. She is a security engineer and works in the SOC, right? So I also have Idong. Idong is a mom of two, a cybersecurity risks manager, and we're going to be learning a whole lot from them, sharing from their journeys, and getting inspired to build ours as well. Right. So I'm just going to kick start with hello. Do you want to say hello to us? Hi Neka. Hi Idong. Can you hear me? Please confirm you can hear me.
Yeah, yes, I can hear you.
Yeah.
All right, thank you first, Goodness, for having me here. So I'm here to say hi, everyone. I don't know. Okay, like she said, Goodness said, my name is Neka Iwoha, mother of three. Um, I'm a cybersecurity engineer. I hold a master's degree in economics too. And I was a former fashion entrepreneur. I once owned a fashion brand called Nikki Waha. So besides my love for tech, I always love a good outfit. So yeah, so that's a brief introduction of myself. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Neka. It's an honor to have you on the call with us. Yeah, hi Dong.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, and it's a pleasure being here. Thank you very much, Goodness, for having us here. Okay, so my name is Idong, and I'm a cybersecurity risk analyst. I work in a financial institution. Prior to becoming a tech, transitioning into tech, I used to own a footwear and handbag making company, Idong Hiring. I ran that for about over 10 years. And so at some point in my life, I just had to put it aside and then diverged into tech, which, of course, you learn more along the line. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, Dong. It's an honor to have you here. Yeah, so just before I even ask my first question, you've already mentioned that you're coming from different parts. So you didn't get to start like straight up from cybersecurity. So I think that would bring me to my very first question. Your field before cyber and what actually made you consider cybersecurity as a career path. So I'll start with Neka.
Okay. So first question: what was my field before cybersecurity, and what made me come start cybersecurity? Okay. First of all, I have some experience in customer relations, and then I think I did that for a few years. After which, I decided to go into fashion. So I owned a fashion brand called Nikki Waha, which I ran for. I was in charge. I was actually my fashion brand. So I did that for about 3 4 years, and then I think at some point I just felt like I needed to go into tech. I wanted to go into tech, right? And with no prior background in tech, I decided to. I felt it was a bold step, right? It was scary, but at that point, I felt it was necessary. So I decided to go into tech at that point, and that was what led me to basically doing my research on. Okay, initially, I didn't know what field exactly I was going to go into in tech. So I had a couple of options. So I had to first do my research by doing short courses in maybe AI, software engineering, and then cybersecurity. And it was when I did the course in cybersecurity, I was like, this is it. I just got hooked. It was everything for me, and that was when I decided to make that transition right to cybersecurity. It was in 2022, and that was when I just made that move. It was quite drastic at that point, but I felt it was necessary, and that was my first push towards tech and cybersecurity. Yeah, that's it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So there was, well, I'm still going to come back to that because I really want to know what was that exciting thing like after the other ones, like what was that particular exciting thing that made you say this is the one? So yeah, Idong, do you want to share with us what made you consider cybersecurity? Like why did you leave Idong Harry after like 10 years, like, and all of that, and decide to pursue a career in cybersecurity?
All right. So my story is a bit how do I put it? It's not a straightforward one. Um, about I think it was in 2017, my bank account got hacked into, and I lost everything. Like the hackers took everything. Right. As at then, I hadn't heard what cybersecurity was. I just knew, okay, oh, they were hackers, and that was it. And fast forward 2021, 2022, a friend of mine was telling me about AWS. Oh, everybody write the cloud practitioner exam she built and all of that. And I was like, okay, I know I want, I've been hearing about this tech, this new tech thing. I know I want to do something, but I can't pick what I want to do. And as at this point, I had already stopped my business. It was shortly after I got married. My factory was all the way in a particular location, and it would take like about 2 hours to drive to my factory, which was in Surulere. I was pregnant. So a lot of things were just happening at that time that the dynamics was more or less like, okay, I think I need to slow down on my business, It Don't Hurry, right? Although it was doing well, it was doing pretty well, but I just wasn't in the right frame of mind business wise. So now going back to 2022, the whole trace of, oh, I want to do AWS. Everybody is doing AWS. If you've not done AWS, then maybe you don't, you haven't heard about what's going on and all of that. So I said, okay, I know I've heard about cybersecurity. I've researched on it. But then, what is cybersecurity? In what aspect? Is it cybersecurity as a whole, and this and that? And I remember attending a training, right? One of the trainings, I can't remember the name of the company that had it. It was an online training, how to transition into cybersecurity. And at that training, that was when I realized that, okay, there's something called cloud, because I knew I wanted to do cloud, hence the AWS. However, how do I merge cloud with cybersecurity? And that was where, oh, cloud security came in. So I started pursuing that. I would read online for courses. I also had some other courses by a particular training center. And all. And that was what introduced me into cybersecurity. Having the mind of, oh, my account had been hacked. I want to understand how these hackers were able to hack my account. What happened around the whole process? How were they able to do this? And how do I also find out to safeguard myself and other people? So for me, the starting point was, okay, I got hacked. How do I understand the process, navigate my way, and then safeguard myself and others? That's basically it.
That's an amazing one. I don't know, but I really want to ask if you were able to catch these hackers.
Okay, well, eventually the bank in question did refund the money, I think about 2 years later. Yes. So, of course, well, as at then, I just knew, okay, my money has been refunded. That's all. That's about it.
All right. So that would bring me to my next question. So I think I'll actually be starting with Idong now. Um, So what was exciting? What was the most exciting thing about cybersecurity? What was it for you? Apart from, oh, I was able to maybe understand how these people were able to do this and take precautions, or like be able to contribute to having some of those things come to an end. What was it? What was so exciting about cybersecurity for you?
Okay, so I'll start with let me ask, should I, okay, let me hold on to how I got into cybersecurity, since I guess that question will come up later. So the exciting part for me is, okay, I'm sitting somewhere, or someone is sitting somewhere and logging into their system. And because I was in a SOC, I started from as a SOC analyst, and I'm here as a SOC analyst. I'm able to see, okay, this is what this person is doing. So and so person has logged into their account. So and so person is opening this file and all of that. So I was able to be at the back end, see what's going on the back end, check out for anomalies. Okay, this person normally does this. Why is this person signing up in this location when this person is supposed to be here? So you look into that. It was a case of me coming from a non-tech background into tech, and within a few space of, let me say, 3 months, I was somewhat able, I will not say totally because that's not possible, well, for me, I was somewhat able to understand to an extent what a SOC analyst would do, especially I read economics. I didn't read any of the tech science courses. Um, Coding was not necessary and all of that. So it was just exciting for me. That it was just the excitement that, oh, I can do this. That's basically it for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That already answered the next question I had. If you had like any tech experience, before getting into cybersecurity, because some people are like they believe so much that you need to be very, very technical, to be able to do cyber. But that already like spoke to that. So hi Neka, what was that exciting thing for you that made you say is cyber or nothing?
Mhm. Okay, so for me, during my little research before I decided to go into cybersecurity, I know I took a few courses, and I think you mentioned one of them now, which is having to do with knowing that you don't have to be like tech, have a tech background to actually understand or know more about cybersecurity. So there was like a bit of everything for everyone. So even if you don't have, so you could have you could move your skills. So there were, cybersecurity allows for transferable skills. So that was also one of the things that lured me towards it. And then it felt like when I was reading the course, it just was like detective work, but in digital space, more or less. Right. So it was exciting learning about malware, viruses, knowing that I could better protect systems, protect organizations from all the hackers. You hear even as much as maybe our parents coming to you saying, I just got this text message, right? And I don't know why or how should I send the money? And it just starts making sense to you. So rather, it made sense to me reading and going through the courses. That, oh, okay. So these are with cybersecurity, I could do a lot more. I could help protect systems, organizations, help people basically. So that's what just led me to cybersecurity. And that's why I felt excited by it. So that's why I went for it. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Neka. That's so interesting. And that would bring me to the next question. You've discovered that this is it, this is something you want to do. So, how did you get in? I know you've already mentioned some courses, this, but maybe just in more detail. So, I'll start with Idong. How did you get into cybersecurity? Did you work like you just passed the door and you were in cybersecurity? Is there like a magical mirror or something that once you cross over, you are there? So just please tell us about it.
Sorry, was that question for me? Or Neka?
Yes, please. Yes.
Oh, oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So, how I got into cybersecurity was through one special lady, Assam. Okay. I knew that I wanted to go into cybersecurity. However, I did not know how. And there was a day she posted something on her Instagram page about her going offline for like 6 months learning, and 6 months later I now saw hashtag women in cybersecurity. So I was like, okay, let me send her a message that I've been hearing about cybersecurity, but I don't know what it's all about. Could you explain things to me? She then told me that she attended an internship program done by cybersoc, and it's a program they run every year, and where they would bring you in, train you, and then retain you if you qualify. So she then said, okay, that if they run the program again, she would let me know about it. And that was I think in September 2022. About that time, no, it wasn't September. It was earlier on. And so that was it. I just kept on reading. Then ISC squared examination also came up. So I think I was reading through that one, and all. Then I was also reading some Cisco courses and all that. So come, I think it was September, October. I can't remember. Okay, can you hear me? I think my can you still hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right. So come September, I think I can't either September or October. I can't remember when she posted the link that okay, apply for the program. Immediately I opened it, YouTube video. I was like, what is this? It was just a video, and they then said they watched at the end, or something said something at the end, or apply, and I was like, where's the application link? I then watched the video again, and I watched closely. I was like, okay, this means I have to do some form of decoding, because I was seeing some numbers, this with this and that and that. And along the line, as the video was playing, I was just writing things down, right? And I was able to form the link. I was right, okay, so this is the beginning of the journey. And I applied, and then they had series of CTFs, which we did. And as at that time, right, I was, I think, about 8 months pregnant. And doing all of this was, I didn't know the future, because I mean, I'm heavily pregnant, right? And I'm applying for an internship role and all that. So everything happened. I got shortlisted for the role, and it came to having a physical interview with the company. As at that time, I was 9 months pregnant. And when I walked into the interview, all this, we were doing it offline. So they didn't get to see who we were. So when I had to now do the physical interview, and they saw my belly, after they had asked me all the questions, okay, then I now said, oh yeah, now the elephant in the room, you are pregnant. What would happen? This was in December 2022. We're starting most likely in January. How are you going to manage? And I told them, don't worry, I know what is going to happen, that I will be available for the internship. So along the line, they sent me an email that I was shortlisted but on a waiting list because of pregnancy and all, pending when I deliver. And when I put to bed, I sent them a message that, okay, I have finally put to bed. Can you let me know if I'm still eligible for the internship to attend the boot camp? And having done all that, as long as I was cleared from my doctor, I told them I had been cleared, everything is fine with me, that I need to start. I could start. And after then, I got a call from someone in the company reconfirming that, am I certain I have been cleared? Of course, I have to show certain documentation, because I just put to bed 2 weeks ago, and bootcamp is starting very soon. So I cleared myself. I said, yes, I've been cleared. My doctor has clarified that I'm fine to do everything and all of that. So, and that was how I got into cybersecurity, which is cybersoc. That was my beginning. That's it for me.
Well, I think I've said this, if not more than 100 times, that um, well, you've been such an inspiration, like looking at all the things that you do, like even with even from when you had just given birth, and you're even stronger than most of. And it's been really inspiring, like seeing you do all of that, and I'm like, thank you so much for sharing that journey. Thank you for not giving up, because honestly, that was one of the things that helped some of us. We're like, if this one is doing it, what is our own excuse? So thank you so much for being an inspiration. So yeah, ask Neka same question. How did you get into cybersecurity?
Okay, it's quite funny because our story is quite similar. So I don't know if it's coincidence, but I'll just get right to it. So, like I said, when I made the decision to transition to tech and then cybersecurity, I just knew I had to roll my sleeves up because with no background whatsoever, I just knew I had to. I just more or less dived in. I went online checking for courses I could lay my hands on. I had to join a few communities, cybersecurity communities, of course. So at least I could get, because I had got, everybody has their own story. So if you're trying to follow this one story, it's leading you here. Trying to follow this one story, is leading you here. So I just joined some communities, did online courses, try hack me, name it. I just was everywhere. I even had to enroll in a cybersecurity program with the University of Texas at Austin, which I ran for a couple of months. When I was rounding up that, I went straight into a virtual internship with Virtually Testing Foundation. Before I could finish that, I jumped into another one with Young Sis. So I was just everywhere, just trying to like get my hands on whatever I could. And then it dawned on me that what I really needed was actually um, like hands-on experience. That was what I needed, and so it led me to go online checking for organizations that were actually offering real entry-level experience. I will remember initially, like some months prior to that I checked online and I saw this organization that's still cybersoc, but I saw the organization, but unfortunately the day I saw the application offer was the day it closed. So fast forwarding back to where I was, so I decided to go back, reapply, and then luckily I was invited. And at this point, I was already expecting my third child, right? So, but being online, since most of the things I did were mostly online, but the virtual internships, everything, I was just going at it, going at it. And then when I got the application, got the offer, it was such that first you have to do, like, after the assessment, you do like online training for a couple of weeks, which I kept doing. And then it got to the point where it was time for the interview. Here I was, heavily pregnant as well. So I remember going in for the interview stepping in confidence, like determined that, how you've gone so far, that you were just not going. There was no way you were going to like let anything get in the way. So I just went in. I remember going in, and when I was there, I knew I had to give it my all, right? And then after the interview, my bump was like, I was visibly, my baby bump was like really visible. And then because they asked some questions about, how close you were I was to my delivery and all that. I told them. So weeks after, I was called because I got a message about it, but I was called and I was like told that maybe their concern was that I was like very close, but it was supposed to be like a boot camp, right? And I was very close to my delivery. That okay, they would just, because when from the week, how many weeks I told them, that was supposed to land somewhere in between the boot camp or something. And so I was told to, okay, maybe I should just like hold on. After that, I could reach out to them. So of course I felt disappointed because at that point, if you left me, I would still go like that. But I had to just like, okay. And then 7 months after, I had to reach out to them again. I had to follow up, say, okay, tell them everything. And then the whole process started again. And then I got in. So I was really excited. That was my real break into cybersecurity, because that's when I got the real hands-on I actually was looking for. So that just taught me that, you know, perseverance, you know, opens doors. So that's it. And what, you know, through all this, what really motivated me was just knowing that I'll be able to make a difference, right? And you know, protecting systems, organizations, or even having to, even for women, you know, letting women or mothers especially know that it's never too late to start. And despite the situation you find yourself, if you push and persevere, you would have a breakthrough. So yeah, that was my break into cybersecurity actually.
Like that part, it's never too late to start. It's never really too late to start, even if even a grandma can actually get started. And so far as it's something they are really interested in, and they're able to put in the work, then it's definitely possible. And I really admire your I really admire your perseverance. I really admire how more like a go-getter, you know what you want and you're willing to put in the work to achieve that. That's really inspiring. Yeah, I would ask this would go to Idong. Um so what's like a day to day in your life like? So you mentioned transitioning, like you've been in the SOC down to risk management, right? So I'd just like you to touch a bit on each of them. Like generally, what's a day in your life like? How are you able to manage your time effectively such that you're able to pursue your career and it's not also affecting quality family time?
All right. Okay. So I'll start with, it's not easy. It's really not easy. Like Neka said, if you know what you want and you're willing to put in the efforts, I believe the results will come in, right? So what I do is I have a support system. That's really, really key. While I, of course, being a new mom, I was away from my 2 weeks old baby. That should mean that, of course, I had someone that was at home helping me take care of my baby, right? And having to go through all that, waking up in the morning, doing all of this, trying to manage my time, ensuring that, okay, before I leave the house, the home front, because I have an older daughter too that had started going to school. I had to not stop being the one taking her to school and get her to go in the school bus. I had to be able to schedule, okay, when will the school bus arrive? I had a nanny that helped and all of that. So for me, I would say having a system worked for me. In some other people's cases, they may not have such support system. And I'll try to say, whichever way it is, just find a way you can get this done and all that. And so a day in my life, I would say my support system, who is my nanny, she's really, really wonderful, right? We do most of the prepping the night before, so that the next morning we're not looking for this, looking for that, trying to do this and all of that. So in the mornings we wake up, we sort the kids out, then push them, they go with the school bus, enter, or sometimes I drop them off. Then I proceed to the office. Of course, I'm at the office. My office is at Marina. I get to the office before 8. I start my day. I'm always with my notebook. I always write what I'm going to do and what I'm supposed to achieve that day. So, because along the line, while you're working, this person calls you into a meeting. It wasn't planned. It sort of destabilizes what you had in your head if it's not noted down. Or this person says, oh, you need to do this, or you need to do that, or there's an assessment that you did and you need to go back to doing it, or looking for something, or one thing or the other that will just come in and could disrupt your day. So for me, I work with a to-do list, right? Top priority on top, and then I work my way down. That's what I do. There's some days I don't finish it. That's fine. I move it on to the next thing. Then after that, while I'm doing all of that, I'm also, during my free time, okay, trying to say, okay, what can I do to be able in terms of home fronts and all of that. I So another thing that helped me again, this is not a case for everybody, but this is my own case. I had to put in security cameras, CCTVs in my home to say, okay, well, at least even if I'm not physically there, but I can as well see what's going on, right? And all of that. Then what else? When I go home, it takes me about an hour from my office back home. On the road, I have the markets close by, a major market, food market. If there's anything I need to buy, I would have already called the woman in the market. Okay, madam, help me do this, help me do that. Package everything, put inside nylon. On the way, I will drive by and pick it up. So looking at this, the ones that I can't do, in terms of cooking for the home, I would ask, delegate to my nanny. Okay, I know I will not be able to pass that or the route or something. Just help me sort this out. I'll give her own list. We work with a timetable in the house in terms of food. So we don't go into, okay, we don't know what to cook, or, oh, we're supposed to cook this, but it's not available. We'll now have to look for something else to cook. So for me, it's all about planning little bits of my activity, and then, however, sometimes it doesn't. Let me also be realistic. It doesn't always pan out that way, right? But at least if you have a plan of what you want to do, right, and you have that support system also. For me, that's just how I've been able to work and balance my life. Whereby I have my nanny can sometimes do homework for my kids. When I come back home, I supervise. Okay, did you do this? Did you draw this way? And all of that. And after that, okay, we go to eat dinner and we go to bed. So for me, it's sort of like a routine that is being done. But again, let's all be realistic. It doesn't always go that way. So for me, that's how I've just basically been able to do work-life balance. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dong. That's quite a lot. That's quite a lot. And yeah, while I want to ask Neka same question, maybe she could just touch a bit on that too. But just to add to it, so we very, very single people. Um, there's always this fear of how are we going to do this? How do we get to actually find this balance, especially when it comes to managing time, such that one party is not suffering, so the career is not suffering, I'm able to do what I want to do, the family is not suffering, and all of that. Neka, is there like any additional thing maybe that Idong has not mentioned that helps you on your own paths, to be able to find balance between both, like not having any of them suffer?
I would say for having kind of balance, work-life balance, you don't have said most of it. Because my day is quite similar with hers. My secret for one is not doing it alone. I don't do it alone. Not many people have that grace or opportunity. But I have, like, luckily, I have a husband who works from home, so it's quite flexible. Bless him. I also have like a good nanny, and then I have a close knit family in terms of friends around me that are, for example, help me pick up once in a while from school. So I feel a bit more comfortable in terms of picking up and all that. But my typical day, waking up by 5, 6 o'clock, I'm already off for work in analyst mode. But before I go, maybe I may just have to like give some instructions, what to be done, how to get ready for school, and all that. And then at work, I try to give like my whole focus at work, try to do what I need to do, whether it's monitoring or, responding to incidents, whatever it is, I just try to do that. And then during my breaks, you see me like making calls. I call to know, check up on lunch, what are they having for lunch, confirming, okay, ensuring or trying to like remind us that they study and do that. But for weekends, I ensure that I try to have more of like family time as much as possible, do what I have to do, and more or less prep for the next week with a bit of course, self development. So that's basically how my week pans out. And so I just feel, it's not about having a perfect balance. It's just where being intentional about that time at that moment when you're at work, be more intentional about being at work. Do what you have to do. When it comes to family, you try to ensure that your kids, your husband, it's more aware of your presence, right? So just trying to be intentional, and wherever you are at that moment, try to give it your all. Let them feel your presence. They're not like being torn between here and there. So that's what I'll say about work-life balance. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Neka. Yeah, so I would ask a follow-up question to that. Would you mind sharing like your some of your major challenges so far? Because, like you mentioned, it's not easy, right? Even while you try, you said there's no perfect balance. So, what has been some of the major challenges and sacrifices that you've had to make to be able to, still you're still standing strong and pursuing um, your growth development. So what has been some of the major challenges and how you were able to overcome them?
Okay. Let's be honest. Being a cyber mom is quite hard, in the sense that you have like these things to do in terms of work, but or you start making having to decide between, for example, maybe giving a report, or writing a report, or helping your kids through prepare for their spelling tests, or having to go through logs, rather than helping your kids tell them bedtime story or just talk to them. So trying to decide which one comes first could be quite hard, and it's quite hard basically. But I think at the end of the day, when you see your kids thrive, right? Maybe doing well in the academics, and knowing that you're actually their role model, it makes you feel at the end is worth it, right? So I'll just say, for me, having to I just know that it's not easy, but yet it's still rewarding all the way. So is it hard? Yes. Is it worth it? Definitely. And it's being able to use some things along the line. For example, I know I don't necessarily, maybe initially I don't aim for perfection anymore. I just try to be flexible, so that I know what the world doesn't work the way we want it to work. You may wake up one morning having a long list, right, of things to do. But then and at the end of the day, you just realize you're just able to do like one, two things out of it. You should still be happy, right? Learn to celebrate small wins. You may have planned or set out to do, for example, some of us we may be doing, we were having to, cybersecurity generally. You always have to keep evolving, updating yourself, reading, studying, to be ahead, or at least be in sync with what is going on, right? And then you have like your kids by the side trying to strive, trying to study as well. And you're their mom, for Christ's sake. So you have to like check, confirm, help them whichever way you can. So I just try to do as much as I can, maybe ensure I'm able to carry them along, right? Celebrate small wins, like I said. So even in a day, if I plan to like read two chapters, if I'm able to read one paragraph, I still celebrate it, right? It's still a win either way. So that's how I'm able to like gradually or constantly ensure that I'm able to balance that. Yeah. So I don't even answer the questions.
Thank you so much, Nika. That's amazing. And one of the things I took out from there is not aiming for perfection. Not like you're not going to deliver excellently, but the most important thing is that there's progress. Progress is being made every day. That's one key thing I took out from what you said. Thank you so much for sharing that. This will be going to Idong. Have you ever experienced any moment of self-doubt, like in this journey, in your cybersecurity journey? Just that moment where you feel like this thing is not for me. Oh, let me go back to my business. Or just all those mom guilt of, oh, mommy, don't go to work today, mommy, stay with us. And how do you deal with those tiny voices, and they're like, oh no, mommy. um Please share with us.
Okay, guilt and self-doubts, a lot. Yes, a lot. So first of all, when I got into boot camp, honestly, I was one of the oldest in class, and I was filled with a lot of young people, like 24, 25. I'm seeing this, and I'm like, okay, adult education. Okay, so that one alone, right, hit me in the face because it's not easy leaving school. I mean, you have to go back to start doing all of this again. So from that big point, I had a lot of self-doubt, but I kept on pushing and pushing, and I was like, okay, you're in this already. I mean, you've sacrificed a whole lot to get here. There's no turning back right now. There's no giving up. You have to keep pushing. I know myself. I can be very, very resilient. I can be very, very pushy when I want something. And I just had to keep on pushing myself and telling myself, you can do it, you can do it. I remember a lot of times people would have spotted something or trying to decipher an alert would have come in, and I'm like, I'm blank. I'm blank. I don't know what to do. However, I had wonderful colleagues around me that would just be like, okay, this is what you can do. But you did this one now. And then there's this thing about forgetfulness. It happens a lot, especially when you're much older and you just delivered. That thing about forgetting, it happens a lot. So you may have told me something last week. Same thing occurs, and I've forgotten. So a lot of times it made me feel, it made me doubt myself a lot that, okay, am I really in this thing? I remember one time in the office, one of my supervisors called me and he said, Idong, I've seen you're a very persistent person and I see how much you put in. However, try to study up or try to do one or two things in terms of trying to catch up because there's a whole lot that you still don't know. So after that statement was being said to me, that day I went, in fact, on the drive home, I was just thinking about my life. I know. And I told myself, I can take this feedback two ways, right? He wasn't harsh. He was just giving me pure feedback. He wasn't harsh. I can either be disgruntled about it and start saying, why would he talk to me like that? Does he know who it is? Blah, 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 and all of that. Or I take his notes, his word, and then I push myself. So that night when I got home, I wrote certain things down. And there was somebody else in the office who just said he was going to mentor me. And I called him up. I think it was after I put my kids to bed. I called him up around 10 p.m. I'm like, guy, I need your help. This thing, I will not lie, I don't know it. This was about a few months into it, into cybersecurity. I need your help. And that was when he said, okay, you know what? I'm going to help you. If you give me 1 hour of your time every night, we read this, we do this, we do that, I'm ready to help you. Initially, he said 9 o'clock. I'm like, no, initially he said 8 o'clock. I'm like, I don't want to make excuses, so, but I will still be putting my kids to bed. So I didn't want to now sound like, okay, you asked for help, I'm helping you, but then you're now giving me conditions. Back again to mommy life. You were somebody that didn't have responsibilities. Oh, I'm all out. So he now made it clear that, okay, no problem. 10, that was how we got to 10. He said 9 p.m. I said 10 p.m. Okay, 10 p.m. At least I know the kids would have gone to bed and all of that. So every night, 1 hour, Ene would grill me, he would do stuff, and that was how I started to be more confident in myself. He would ask me questions. I would just dribble around and he would make me say, Idong, you know this thing. And when I answer, he'll be like, you see, you know it. So having to interact with him, he grilling me and doing stuff, that was how I started to build confidence in myself that, okay, if I put so and so, because a lot of people just say, oh, cybersecurity, oh, you just go inside there. Once you get the job, just relax. No, it's constant learning. Constant things are always coming out. And all. So you have to constantly read. And for someone that transitioned into that industry, you have like 10 times more than what any other person that has been in the industry or maybe did tech would do. So with that, I started to build myself. I remember the time when I was being given to manage a customer. I would now be the one interacting with the customer. I was like, excuse me, no way. But then again, self doubt was happening, and I told myself, and people they said, we know if you were not able to do it, we wouldn't hand over this customer to you. But you have proven yourself over time, and we see that you can do it. And that was it. I'm like, okay, if people are beginning to see the thing in me, that's okay, the capabilities in me, then I think I also need to shift the review mirror from behind to the front and see myself as, okay, you can actually do this. So that's really what started building my self-confidence. And basically, so a lot of self-doubt, even till when I got a new job, because I was doing SOC initially, and then I got a new job into a new company, a different industry, which is the financial sector. And they told me my roles were going to be changed into security risk. I'm like, I don't know anything about security risk. All I know is SOC, how to monitor, look for anomalies, look for this one, read through logs, and you're giving me something else. I'm on the technical aspect, and I was also an engineer, right? So, but I took it on. I removed the imposter syndrome cap, and I wore my, okay, I can do it cap. And over the months, I was able to push myself, and that's how I've been able to fill myself up in the role as a security risk analyst. So a lot of self-doubt comes, but it depends on how you will take it, what you will do. Are you going to sulk about it? Are you going to feel bad about it, or use it as a stepping stone and move up? Thank you. I hope. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. I actually actually had notes from that, and one of them is it's okay to reach out for help. It's okay to sit with yourself, and the part where you said you had to instead of sulking, you came back and you actually wrote out things that where you like what can change. You decided to take in feedback positively instead of using it as okay, this I'm not doing well, let me just leave the mark for them and all of that. So it's also important to reach out, because if you didn't reach out, you wouldn't have gotten the help you needed and improved on what the field generally. So thank you so much, Idong. So this will go to Neka. So for a mom who wants to, start out in cybersecurity, who has been told a number of things. Oh, you have to be techie, you have to come from a tech background, you have to, the way tech people tend to make this whole thing like feel so serious. You won't be sleeping at night, or you won't do this. Yeah, it comes with it. But for a mom who wants to break into this field, but has all these doubts, has all these myths in their head, what's one advice that you can give to this mom?
Okay, one advice I would give to any mom, whether woman, mom, that is trying to like break into cybersecurity is well, I may give more than one, but first be intentional and persist. It's not a walk in the park. It's not easy, but if you persist, yes, you will definitely have some breakthrough. Just constantly knowing that it's something you can do. Reach out to whoever you can for any assistance. Keep on it, keep learning, keep keep asking, find a way, and you will definitely find a way. Yeah. So I'll just say one, be intentional, and then persist. Persist. Yeah. So that's one. Yeah, that's what I'll say.
Thank you so much, Neka. So perseverance and intentionality, um, very important. So I'll throw same question to Idong, but focusing on the singles. So for a single person who wants to break into cyber or who is currently in cyber, right? And is let's make it even a single lady, right? And you're already in cyber or you want to get into cyber, and at a point you're going to have to make the choice of maybe choosing a partner, um building, like growing a family and all of that. What's your advice for this person is currently single now, but definitely has to cross to that point. So what are things that this person can look out for, right from the choice of a partner that can't, because I think it was Neka who mentioned having a supportive partner. It's also very, very important. So what are the things that a single can actually look out for? You want to build a career in cybersecurity, and you're going to go from single to wife to mother one day. So what are the things that people like me should prepare themselves for?
Okay, I will start with, okay, you're single, you want to go into cybersecurity. Again, like Neka has said, um, do your research. Cybersecurity is broad, right? So understand which one you feel you can do. Which, I mean, there's a lot. Is it SOC analyst? Is it which is SOC operations? Is it threat intel? Is it risk governance compliance? Just look for one that falls in line with your personality or what you want, and then you pursue that. Um, in terms of partners, right? Okay, I will say, I always tell my husband is a wonderful person, because not every husband will accept the wife or allow the wife to leave their 2 weeks baby at home and say she's going to go and look for work, right? And this is the same husband that is the one that drives me to the office every day. So that's an intentional man. That's a wonderful person. He was really, really wonderful and supportive, because he understood what I wanted, that this is what I want, right? And I was willing to do what it takes to get it. And I'm so glad that he was able to support me through it. So find a man that would also support your dreams. It might sound crazy. It might sound, I remember when I think I told someone that, I'm at work, I'm at work, I'm at work. She was just calling me to say, okay, how am I doing? How is the baby? And I'm like, I'm at work. She was like, I don't understand. Which work? And all. And then she made a comment and she's like, and your husband lets you? I said, well, yes. So he's even the one that is pushing me and all of that. So she's like, wow. So one, find a man that would support you, very supportive. Then another one again is look for someone that aligns with your kind of personality, your career, right? Not everybody would want their wives working in, or not to talk of being doing, okay, for example, SOC analyst role. You need to work shifts, right? And sometimes you work overnight at the SOC. Now, not everybody would believe that my wife is working somewhere overnight. Are you sure she's even at work? What is she doing? Are you sure that she's doing this, she's doing that, and all of that? So you need to also have conversations like this. So that, okay, well, sometimes my shift might fall at night. What do I do during that period? If we have children, how are they going to be sorted out for? Because most night shifts start either some companies start by, it could start by 4, it could start by 6, it could start by 7. What do I have to do? And all of that. What are the things that you put in place? Is the man going to be able to help you out fill in that role while you are away at work and all of that? So these are conversations that you also need to have, because if you don't have these conversations prior to, and another thing again, hybrid role for me, right? Except if I used to say that, except if the company is this in Lekki, I cannot go beyond this Lekki. What happens if you get a job and your job is on the mainland and you live on the island, right? Looking at that transit and all of that, can you make it? Who is going to pick up your children from school if you have kids? How are you going to, maybe you're single and you're living with your aged parents, who is going to be there to take care of them? How are you going to manage this? So if you have okay, tell yourself maybe some roles, hybrid. I can do 2 days in the office or 3 days in the office, 2 weeks off, or fully remote. So good enough. Thank you for COVID. One of the good things that came out of it, a lot of companies have also understood that you don't have to be in the office 5 days a week. I mean, you can work from certain places, use VPN to connect into the office network, and you're good to go. So understand, look at your roles, look at what you have to do, and then pick the areas in which you need to. For me, one of the major thing is hybrid role. I don't want fully remote because sometimes I still want that office community. I still want to be able to be in the presence of people. I just don't want to wake up in the morning and sit on my laptop from morning till night. It would drive me crazy and all of that. But I want to be able to, okay, drive out, go to the office, see people, interact with people and all of that. So hybrid roles, yes. However, if in the future it comes with a full, well, if I can get like a 5 day in a week role where it's comfortable for me, I will shift my work-life balance to suit that role also. So you need to say, okay, what are the areas where I can do this, I can't do this, have conversations with my intended spouse and all. So these are things that you should discuss. And I'm sure there are a lot more. But for now, for me, these are the things that I can think about. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I sure took my notes. Thank you so much for sharing, Idong. So yeah, we'll be rounding up in a few minutes. So it's been an interesting conversation. We've even gone past the time we had in mind. Yeah, so I think we'll just wrap up with this. So what are the transferable skills and best tools that have helped you get from like getting started, transitioning from entirely different roles? What are transferable skills, from your previous roles that you still find useful in cybersecurity? And what are communities that has helped you grow? Maybe you belong to some of these women supporting women, whatever. What are transferable skills, tools, and communities that has really helped your journey?
All right. Okay, let me go first. Okay, so prior to now, in a I was working in a multinational Nokia, and I was in an admin role, and in that role, I also got to we had like enroll on board customer well, it could be employees, new employees coming in, do onboarding. So I had to interact with like a lot. We had like a server where an IT team that would come in and would do, maybe if there's a network breakdown, we'll engage with them. So I would say sometimes during the boot camp and during when I used to read, I would sometimes, when I'm reading networking, a lot of times when I am confused, I try to tell myself, okay, imagine you speaking to the IT rep and you're trying to explain what is going on, right? So for me, that was one of the very first ways I was able to push myself physically and understand cybersecurity. Then another part is risk. I walk into an environment and unconsciously I just start to look at, okay, are the windows, or maybe if I'm house hunting or I go into a building, what kind of do they have burglary proofs? Why are there no burglary proofs here? The door handle is bad. Why is it bad? Anybody can just come in and just walk in. They say only staff allowed in here, but I just saw one malam strolling in. I'm certain that he's not a staff, right? So I'm just picking out physical controls, physical things that's like this is bad, this is bad. What will happen if this thing is here? It could cause like it could cause something and all of that. So your day-to-day activities, right, could also lead you to transferring your skills in cybersecurity. I was speaking to a friend of mine earlier on today. She's an auditor. She's an accountant and an auditor and all of that. And she was also confused about, because she also wants to transition into tech, and she was also confused about what aspect of tech she should go into. So after I explained all the different domains in tech, which is SOC, CTI, and all of that, and then I now landed on risk, and I said, okay, this is something you have done before. IT risk, you're an auditor, right? It's just the same. It's just that right now you're not working with numbers, you're working with assets. You're trying to see, okay, what could go wrong? This person that is allowed, is this person supposed to be able to view this file? What kind of privilege does this person have? Is it read, write, and execute? Why do you have read, write, and execute? That's like an admin role when you're just a this. Okay, so things like that, we were able to, so those are skills whereby in as much as you were working somewhere before, you can transfer it into cybersecurity to assess products. Then another skill that I know is investigative. Like Neka mentioned about investigation, I love watching investigative movies. One of the things that even helped me get into be able to pass the CTFs, where I understood what Morse code was. When you hear Morse code, you will know, oh, this is Morse code. So if you see something, right, and okay, someone signed in an unusual location. This person is supposed to be here. Why are you signing in here? You start to investigate. You see something on the scene, and you're like, this IP address. Why are you communicating with this other IP address on this port? So investigation, that's what helps me. I really love that. Then, especially digital forensics, or maybe if it's a, well, whatever kind of case or whatever kind of thing it is, I love investigation. So those are skills that maybe you already knew before while watching a movie or while doing this, but then you can now transfer it into cybersecurity. So there are so many skills that are transferring to into cybersecurity. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, so
Thank
should
you
I
very
go?
much. I think I was muted. Yeah, so Neka, you can share some with us too.
Okay, so for the transferable skills, I may start with one that I feel people may not consider a skill, but it will be continuous learning, right? In cybersecurity, we have to keep learning and learning and learning. So if you're not one that takes joy in learning, you have to develop that skill. So if you are, then that's something you can easily transfer to your cybersecurity journey. Another one I would mention would be attention to detail, right? I'm one that pays attention to details, maybe based on my previous role or as a fashion entrepreneur or whatever. But being able to pay attention to detail not would help you a whole lot in not missing out doing investigation, because what other people may miss you would easily be able to pick out, right? So attention to detail would be another transferable skill in cybersecurity. Yeah, besides the usual, we have being able to adapt, because in cybersecurity, a lot of things just comes up. You could just be here and immediately there's one incident. Depending on your role, you may find yourself just munching. Next minute, you find yourself investigating. Next minute, you find yourself. So you should be able to adapt. And we tend to have a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure, a lot of things to do. You have to be on your toes while doing one. Another thing is coming. So, but being able to adapt to the changes of every day, it's one skill that is very, very useful in cybersecurity. I could mention a few: teamwork. So for cybersecurity, you could easily transfer your skills from whichever field you may be working in, or whatever skills you just have. Okay. being able to find a way to use that in cybersecurity also makes a difference for you. So being able to use your own skill in cybersecurity is also key. So I'll just say that, yeah.
Thank you so much, Neka. So I think you missed out on communities. Are there communities that has helped? Are there platforms that has helped you? I know you've mentioned Try Hack Me. Yeah, I think there were a number of them that was mentioned earlier. So do you want to throw more light on that?
Okay, I know starting, even though at some point I had to like try to do I got, I won't say bored, but I had to do like a whole, try to switch towards getting on the job. But the try hack me, even for communities, there are a few on Discord. I don't know, I can't quite remember their names now. Something I may have to check so that I don't mix the names up. But try hack me was one of them. Hack the box was another one. Yeah, I can't really remember all of them right now at the top of my head, but those two stands out. Then for community, we had the InfoSec Live. The InfoSec Live, I know they had like a whole number of members where you share, and it just not just Nigerians, like everybody, you share your information, how you start your journey. So there are a lot of communities out there, both on LinkedIn, Discord. So yeah, just can't remember them right now. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Thank you so much, Idong. And thank you to our viewers. I hope that you've been inspired by at least, even if it's just one thing out of everything that has been said, right? So this is CyberGist live session, and it's just cyber conversations, stories, that happen every month on Securely Evolving channel, where we just have gist around cybersecurity, just one topic after another. And if you are yet to subscribe to the channel, you may want to take a minute to do that right now. So just click on the subscribe icon there, and turn on the bell notification so that you get an alert whenever any post is made on the channel. Right. So thank you so much, Idong. It's such an honor having you. Thank you so much, Neka. And so just before we say bye-bye, describe your cybersecurity journey in one word. What's one word for you to describe, like, I don't know, sometimes me I will say the journey has been God, I beg. So yeah, describe your cybersecurity journey in, okay, one word or one sentence.
Okay, let me go. It's been fulfilling, honestly. I know you said one word, but I'd like to elaborate a little. It's been really, really fulfilling, especially in the area where this is something new, and the fact that I will say I'm excelling in it. Yes, I am. The fact that I'm excelling in it, it's really fulfilling for me. Yes.
All right. So for me, I would say it's been great. It's just confirmed to me that I can do whatever it is I set my mind to do. So it's been a great, great journey. I am so excited. I decided to take this journey, as in begin this journey in the first place. I'm happy where I am, and I'm more excited um, of where I'm going to be soon. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Thank you so much. It's been fulfilling, it's been great, and um yeah, most importantly, it's seeing that we're able to make impact. Like it's beyond work. It's beyond just coming to work every day and getting a paycheck and all that. For me, it's more about the impact we get to make, and also being an inspiration, because learning from your story, somebody else is inspired and like, oh, I actually wanted to do this. I've been thinking about it a lot, but if this person can do this, then I can as well. So Thank you so much for sharing your journey. Thank you so much for sharing your challenges so far, and tips on how you've been able to um, overcome them and find balance. So I'm greatly honored to have you here with us. Thank you so much again to everyone who joined the live session. And we'll draw the curtains here, and we'll see you for CyberGist session next month. Bye.
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 Thank you
Thank you
for
for
having us.
having us.
Bye.